Kiss of Death from 1947 was an excellent crime film starring Victor Mature, Coleen and Richard Widmark, telling the old tale of a reformed bad guy just trying to make things right. But you know, when you testify against the criminals, watch out, because we all know the old adage that the snitches get the stitches. And this was a great film. Really enjoyed it, and thanks to my friend Florida Greg for this particular recommendation. So the film opens up and we have the character Nick Bianco, played by actor Victor Mature, who I don't think I've ever seen before in any of these reviews, and I really enjoyed him in this role. I'll talk more about him later. Well, he's an ex-con, according to the voiceover, who's trying to get a job. But, you know, when you've been in lockup and you're trying to reform, and since he apparently can't find any work, he's out, robbing a jewelry place instead. Now, an early note here, I love the location footage, and the director really makes very careful use of a lot of places. And, especially in older films from like the 1940s, it's really kind of a cool window into the past to just see a film that's so chock full of this amazing scenery around New York City and so on, such as the Chrysler Building, which is here in this introduction scene. So Nick and his criminal friends, they hold up a jewelry place in this building, and they casually try to make their escape. And there's this great scene of claustrophobic tension as they just try to make their way out, in this crowded elevator without notice. But of course, word gets out. They almost make their escape, but boom, the cops are there. Nick is shot in the leg as he tries to flee, and he's off to the big house. So a little bit later, he's brought in to meet with the assistant DA, Louis D'Angelo, who's played by actor Brian Donlevy, who basically runs down his crime record as he sits there. And watch how Nick tries to keep his tough guy cool during this interrogation. But you can see they know how to play him. They know how to work him by bringing up his children. But Nick isn't budging. And it was also really cool to see Millard Mitchell as Detective Shelby in this scene. He plays tough guys in films like this. I've seen him in the film Convicted with Glenn Ford. Well, the DA's efforts fail, and Nick is a goner. See you in court, the DA tells him. Now, Bianco meets with his shady attorney, Earl Hauser, who's played by actor Taylor Holmes, who assures him everything will be all right. But I don't know. There's something shady about this lawyer guy, and sure enough, Nick winds up in a jail cell pretty soon, and it's there that Nick meets with his cellmate Tommy Udo, amazingly played by Richard Widmark, who in a lot of ways steals this film. Tremendous actor. I caught him recently in the film No Way Out with Sidney Poitier, and here, I got to be honest, he's almost the same character. This very creepy, sadistic thug with every intention is just evil. And oh man, that sinister grin, it's great. Well, the DA stops by again, tries to appeal to Nick, but no deal. And off they go to prison. And Tommy's riding with him in the train, chattering away in his evil way. And once in lockup, Nick finds out his wife is dead from suicide and that his kids were sent off to an orphanage. And, he later confirms this in an obituary book as well, and we can see this is really weighing on his character. Well, later, at the prison, he's visited by the character Nettie, the one who so far has been doing the voiceover narration for this film. Now, she's played here by the lovely actress Coleen, who I caught recently in the film The Killing. It was done by Stanley Kubrick. Excellent film. Well, here we find out she was his housekeeper who took care of his kids, and we can tell that she has just head over heels for this poor Nick guy. Tells him that the kids are fine, but now they're off in an orphanage, and that his deceased wife apparently was attacked by a guy named Rizzo that Nick knew. And this is enough to get Nick ready to go and meet with the DA. So he goes back to meet with the district attorney again, with Detective Shelby there, and now with the Sergeant Cullen, who's played by a young Carl Malden. Nick is ready to squeal, so he reveals all, including information about that Rizzo character. Now, his motivation here seems to be really just only to see his kids, and the DA is willing to help him with that. And the next day, they bring him to the orphanage, and there's this happy scene as he's reunited with his two kids, who initially seem a little bit, shy, uncertain about him. But, of course, they all warm up and give him a big hug, and he goes in to listen to his daughter play some music. It's a sweet scene. So we know what his motivation is here. And Nick meets again with his attorney and lets him know that Rizzo is the one that squealed on him. It's kind of a double cross thing. It's not true, but this attorney Hauser believes it. And he hires Tommy Udo, the Richard Widmark character, to go and kill Rizzo. But when Tommy shows up at Rizzo's place, only Ma Rizzo is present. She's this older woman sitting in a wheelchair. And what follows is an epically creepy scene. I mean, for 1950s, it's a little bit shocking as Tommy, he's annoyed that Rizzo isn't there, gets this creepy grin, binds up Rizzo's mom, and pushes her down a flight of stairs in her wheelchair, killing her. I mean, come on, man. That's kind of dark for these old films, but wow. We kind of established that this Tommy is totally a sadistic creep. So meanwhile, Nick goes to meet with Nettie, who's thrilled that he's out of prison, and they have the beginning of a romance here, clearly. They aren't together for long, though, before Nick gets a call from the DA again that he has to go and meet with Tommy Udo at a boxing match. And wow, watching the boxing, Tommy really gets into the violent aspects of it. It's crazy watching this character. Well, Nick and Tommy, they go out for dinner afterward, and Tommy's all excited to see him, not knowing anything about the fact that Nick has squealed to the DA. They're all chummy at this club, and Tommy's laughing away. But he gets pretty crazy and just barks at his girlfriend to beat it when she starts to annoy him. We cut back to Nick, who's meeting with the DA again, and he's giving his report on what he's learned about Tommy. After he shares all that he knows, they finally let him leave, free to go. And sure enough, we get to cut ahead a little bit, and he's settled into the family life. He's playing with his kids. He's happily married to Nettie. We feel good for the guy. It seems like he's finally gotten to turn his life around, and she is completely crazy about him, and things just seem to be going great. But that's when Nick gets contacted by the DA again, and when he meets with him, he finds out he's got to go and testify against Tommy in court in what should be a sure win case. Now, of course, we, the viewer, know better. That never really works out well when an attorney says, "Oh yeah, you got a sure win here." And Nick is alarmed, but he has no choice about it. He's got to go ahead with this. Now, shortly after, he hears from D'Angelo again, and as you can expect, the jury came back with a not guilty verdict on Tommy. And, the DA is all apologetic, of course, but that leaves poor Nick in quite a pickle. And the film starts to take on a very strong psychological thriller aspect to it. Because now we know Tommy is going to be out there and he's going to want revenge. So Nick goes around his house at night with his gun. He's paranoid. He's worried about what's going to happen. He has a heart-to-heart with Nettie about all of this. Lets her know what's going on and how their family is in danger. And he sends her and the kids away to stay with the family for their protection. Well, later at his home, late at night, he's alone, and wouldn't you know it, some shady figures come creeping in through the shadows in his house in the dark. They ring the buzzer. He pops open the door, but it's just D'Angelo, the DA, and some of the cops, and he wants to bring Nick in for protection. But Nick won't have it, and he slugs him, knocks him out, and takes his gun, then heads off to visit all of the previous places he had been with Tommy looking for him. He finally tracks him down at a restaurant, and he calls D'Angelo and let him know what's going on, because, D'Angelo is, of course, quickly recovered from, the blow to the head that he received. And then he goes to meet with Tommy. And with only about 10 minutes of the film left, I'm not going to give the big spoilers, but what an exciting ending to this film. Quick closing thoughts. This was a fantastic crime film with so many of those classic crime noir elements I love so much. You got the guy with a rap trying to get his life back together, turning in the right direction, but yet he's still somehow drawn into the world of crime that he so badly wants to get away from. There's the gorgeous sweetheart who believes in him, and there's the super sinister villain. It is just a great story being told here. Now, I've not seen Victor mature before, but I thought he was great in this film. He's just got that face that looks like he belongs in a crime film, with those kind of Robert Mitchum-looking sleepy eyes. He looks like a tough guy, and yet he's a believable protagonist. You believe in the guy, and you really want to see him get his life straightened out. And of course, Coleen Gray was gorgeous here as a sweetheart who totally believes in him. It's interesting in thinking about this film, but with this type of character, the sweet and trusting ingenue who looks beyond all of the hero's faults and his dark past and just loves him unconditionally. Ask yourself, when's the last time you've seen a character like that depicted so well in, say, modern Hollywood? I don't know. I never seem to see characters like that anymore, and I thought she was wonderful in this film. Very believable, very compassionate, and really kind of his strength in getting through this story. And got to mention Richard Widmark here. Wow, he is a total lunatic in this film, and he is amazing. And this was apparently his first major role, and it's just legendary. I mean, watch his crazy laughter as he fires his gun. I mean, it's like watching the character Joker from Batman, And it's notable that near the end of the film, when he finally meets with Nick, you can see these scenes where he will transform from that crazy maniacal laughter to, I'm going to kill you, serious. And yes, the most controversial scene of this film would have to be when Tommy, with that evil grin, shoves Mrs. Rizzo down the stairs in the wheelchair. And it's definitely a shocking scene for an older film. And I read that due to the shocking nature of the clip, they actually, in England, the British censors insisted that it be removed from the release over there. And yet, I guess eventually in 1974, it would later be shown in its entirety on BBC Two. So from reviews I've read, his character almost just overshadows everybody else in the film. And it's interesting that even actress Ida Lupino wanted to act with him as a result of this role, and the two actually teamed up in the film Roadhouse in 1948. And that's definitely one I need to check out. Now, it's interesting that there were some cut scenes from this film. Actress Patricia Morrison apparently was going to play Nick's wife, the one who dies earlier in the film from suicide. And yet the producers cut her scenes, apparently over censorship concerns and the producers' belief that audiences at that time were not ready for a suicide scene in a film. Understandably, I guess, this being the 1940s. I wonder if those deleted scenes even exist anywhere. I couldn't find them, but who knows? The director, Henry Hathaway, really did an amazing job here with this film. Again, with gorgeous local footage around New York. I particularly like the train station, which I think I was able to locate just kind of playing around on Google Maps to be in Scarborough, New York. I've got some links below in the description. It's pretty cool when a director likes to make kind of an authentic feel to a film through using location footage. Now, apparently the director didn't get along with Richard Widmark and wanted somebody else to play the role, but the two eventually put their differences aside, and director Hathaway would go on to work with Widmark for 4 more films. So that's pretty cool. Anyhow, that's my review and some thoughts about the film Kiss of Death from 1947. It's a very enjoyable crime film, definitely one worth checking out.